Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius reading. You're the last sign that I'm doing, and it feels like it's taken me a long time to get back to you. Sweet souls, the full moon in Sagittarius has well and truly ended, so we're not getting predictions about that. We're actually getting predictions about that in-between period before the new moon in Cancer. What has the full moon in Sagittarius left behind for you in order to prepare you for the new cycle? Let's have a look. Spirit, tune me into Aquarius's energy. What has the full moon in Sagittarius left behind for Aquarius? Now, this reading is intended for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. You're the last sign that I filmed, so you may have messages in other signs as well, relevant to your natal chart. Okay, 6, 7, 4, might take you. Okay, let's just tune into this. Are you in the middle? Not really. That's a bit better. Is that better? Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So the numbers 14, 12, 7, 16, and 6 could be significant. I'm feeling like overall with this Knight of Pentacles, you guys are being called to focus on the little details, really perfecting things. Don't miss a dot over an I or a crossing a T, like that kind of vibe. It's very Virgo, focusing on the details, perfection, and the high quality, a high standard of practice is important right now. The full moon in Sagittarius left you with some sort of plan that you need to execute quite perfectly. So there's no rush to get it done. It's important that you stay true to the overall intention and vision with this idea of improving as you progress. So the thing that I appreciate about a Knight of Pentacles is that yes, we may start with a very detailed plan, but we also make the necessary adjustments as we go. We're not expected to be perfect as we start. We're still learning. And so a big part of the Knight of Pentacles energy is about adapting, learning, and improving as we go. The full moon in Sagittarius maybe left you with a practical goal in how you can improve yourself, how you can improve something about yourself, either with your health, with your physical body, with your career, or with some sort of tangible success. And so before the new moon, you're really locking in on this improvement journey, and you're focusing on the practical steps that you can take. The way that that impacts the rest of your reading, with the 7 of Cups in the middle of the deck, the full moon in Sagittarius tried to leave you with an overall knowing of what you want and of what you should be focusing on. No more confusion, no more getting distracted. It's really important that you stay true to what it is that your heart is telling you to do, and that you stay true to one very specific opportunity that you have in mind. So it's really important that you don't get distracted. Now, staying true to that seems to be about using your heart to guide you and letting your logic, your practical actions kind of steer you. At times, your logic is necessary to be able to, do some thinking and some contemplation. And then your practical actions seem to be about sticking to some sort of habit and plan on a regular basis that is helping you feel like you're making progress. So there is this feeling of like a long-term goal being very prominent right now. Even if there's other things popping up, other opportunities in the short term, a long-term goal is the main focus right now. So I think with the Six of Swords here, in order to really stay true to this path, you guys are feeling like there's some sort of conversation you may need to have that involves a past situation, or there may be some sort of closure that you need. And so there is this feeling of the full moon in Sagittarius leaving you with this idea to talk to someone who you haven't spoken to since they left you behind, or since you left them behind. There is a feeling here of traveling towards somebody who you haven't seen in a while, and either having a conversation with them first to make that plan, or it was a surprise and they popped up again. The whole point of the Six of Swords reversed is to find more resolution. It's to be able to have this conversation about the past, and it's to be able to settle things in a very black and white manner. We don't want to dip back into the Five of Swords where we're arguing and trying to prove a point and everyone wants to be right. We're still focusing on peace with the Six of Swords reversed, but the first time around when we tried to have this conversation, it didn't quite work. So now, after time, we're having to go back and do it again. And so this does feel like offering answers and maybe closure to someone else as well, or somebody giving you closure. But it does feel very black and white. It feels like the kind of thing that you would have a list for, like you have an agenda. Even if you haven't written it down, you've thought about what you want to say, and it's very much structured and organized. It's not just random. Them resurfacing and popping up again could feel like a surprise, but the way that we react feels very prepared. We weren't caught off guard. We know what we want to say here. And so Aquarius, that does lead us into the Tower reversed. Some of you could have Scorpio placements as well, because we're seeing two cards from the Scorpio reading, and I promise you I did shuffle. But with the Tower card reversed, it just feels like the full moon in Sagittarius left you with the stark realization of how when a significant change occurred in the last 6 months to 12 months, it took you a while to actually rebuild. This was huge. And something did shift in the last full moon in Sagittarius. It made you want to rebuild, but it also made you want more answers, more clarity, more closure, more resolution. When a Tower moment occurs, it changes everything about our life. It's a sudden, somewhat unexpected, but overall very huge change that impacts our lifestyle, our living circumstances. It impacts our career, it impacts our well-being, our energy, it impacts other relationships in our life. Like, it's a huge change that causes major upheaval, and it's taken you quite some time to rebuild from that. And the full moon in Sagittarius definitely tried to enlighten more knowledge within you around why it's taken you so long, and around what you could do in order to start rebuilding, and around how you can move forward, what is left to address here with the Tower reversed, because there are still some tensions. The Tower reversed to me indicates that this already happened, and yet it's still affecting you. And so in order to embrace your peace, which is the overall goal, like your spirit seems to be working towards temperance, even if you mentally don't feel like you're there yet, you have already taken actions that have helped you gain more temperance. And temperance doesn't mean that you have stability. Temperance means that you have more awareness of how your energy fluctuates, and of how to try to bring more harmony when it does fluctuate, instead of just going from one extreme to the other with your mood, with your energy, with your capacity, with your thoughts. You're able to find some sort of balance to kind of bring yourself back into a more balanced energy that feels more natural for you, that feels more calm for you. And so I really don't like to use the word stable. I don't think that that should be a temperance related word. I think it's more about just feeling calm within yourself, so that whenever life does create fluctuations in our energy, in our mood, in our mind, we know that we can bounce back. So this is big resilience energy. The full moon in Sagittarius was definitely trying to show you how resilient you are, and how moving forward can have an optimistic tone to it. It's not just supposed to be stressful. It's not just supposed to feel overwhelming or like you have to do the most. You should feel like things are eventually going to work out, and that you don't have to force it to happen. Temperance is ultimately about going with the flow of life, and also embracing your natural flow within, and embracing who you are and what your nature is like as well. So that is what I'm seeing for you. I think before the new moon, it's really important that you give yourself plenty of time to find regulation, to find that equilibrium, and to purge, so that you're not just holding on to things, to be able to let go and feel confident about what is happening in your future. You don't have to know everything. You're still learning, and you're adapting, and you're evolving as you go. But definitely stick to the path that you're on, because it seems to be the sort of path that builds your confidence in yourself, and it builds a sense of hope for the future as well, which is really important after a tower moment has occurred. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius. I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you for this energy exchange. I will be back soon. Probably, I don't know if I will be doing a video tomorrow, but we'll see. I do need to rest. But if you would like to be notified of when I post again, make sure you're subscribed, turn on all notifications. And until we cross paths again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye.